This is your captain speaking, you're on flight motivation. We are about to take off, so I request you to get rid of all negative thoughts and open your mind for positivity. Once upon a time, there was a farmer who lived with his wife and 2 children. He was a very lazy man who would always sleep his time off and looked for an easy way to feed himself and often deserted his ailing family. One day, he was very hungry and was in search of food. He saw a mango farm nearby. He looked around, but he couldn't find anyone guarding the ripened mangoes on the trees. So, he quickly decided to steal the mangoes. He slowly walked into the farm and tried to climb the tree, but he was unsuccessful. His lazy body wasn't helping him climb the tree. So, he started throwing stones hoping to hit some mangoes. But to his bad luck, the farmer heard the noise and saw the lazy man trying to steal the fruits. The old farmer started chasing him, but the lazy man ran hastily and somehow escaped. He ran for quite a while and gasped for breath. He sat under a tree to take some rest. Only after a while did he realize he had run into a forest. He looked around and was amazed at the wonderful flowers and bushes. As he walked through the forest, suddenly he heard some noise coming from the bush in front of him. He stopped in his tracks and kept staring at the bush. A cheetah was emerging out of the bush. It stared the lazy man dead in the eyes. The lazy man started trembling, and when he tried to run, he slipped and fell over. He knew his fate was over. He had no chance against the lightning speed of the cheetah. So, he accepted his fate. He turned back and looked at the cheetah in a way of telling, "I give up. You can take me now. I know all this is because of my laziness. If it was not for my laziness, I would have become a good farmer and fed myself as well as taken good care of my family." It was too late for revival though, so he closed his eyes and took one last breath. When he opened his eyes, the cheetah jumped out of the bush. For one last time, the lazy man envisaged his 2 children. Drops of tears hit the forest ground. His vision was blurry, but his fate was clear. A few moments later, the tears in the ground had been absorbed. The lazy man's lifeless body lied still on the ground. Few feet away, the cheetah jumped and moved again. Something flashed in his mind. The lazy man regained some consciousness. He struggled to grasp what was happening. He opened his eyes wider and was stuck in a state of shock. The cheetah wasn't jumping. It had just 2 legs, didn't look injured, must have been born that way. It was in fact limping across, trying to get away to the safety of the bushes. But how, the lazy man wondered, how could a cheetah with just 2 legs survive in such a dangerous forest? He had no answers. The cheetah disappeared into the bushes, but the striking awakening it had created stood right there in front of him. He recalled his entire life and felt ashamed for how lazy and wasteful he had been. He looked up to the heavens and thanked them for being reborn again, but this time as a much better human being. He sprang to his feet, ran back to the village, pleaded to his family, and vowed to take good care of them and never ever be lazy again. In life, being lazy is a choice and a very bad one. Laziness is just the beginning of much dreadful and regrettable events. So, let's vow to never ever be lazy again. If you agree to this, please do not feel lazy to hit that subscribe button for more motivational content. Thank you for flying with us. Until your next flight, spread peace.